I have the pleasure to also moderate the session 1 of this workshop, that it's on really addressing the Italian and Piedmontian policies, strategies, and solutions for zero emissions mobility. And we have five presentations, and I'll start for the first one, that is presentation from Andrea Apetacchia, and Andrea is a project manager at ISFORT, and he has been dealing with the themes of maritime transport and logistics since 1995, and has been performing research on both the national and the international levels, driving into the dynamics of demand and supply of logistics services and passengers transport. So actually a perfect expert for this session. A bit of hint of the company ISFORT is the Superior Institute for Training and Research in Transport, and was founded in 1994 by the National Communications Foundation and the State Railway, Ferrovie dello Stato Italiane, to contribute to the renewal of the transport sector. And if so, supports the development of socioeconomic and managerial know-how in the sector through organized and targeted activities in training and research. So, Andrea, now the floor is yours. I think we can see already the presentation.
Thank you, Fernando, for the nice presentation, and of course, thanks all to the organizer of this interesting meeting. So the networks, so ISFORT, Polis, Entrance, and of course the hosting organization, so Regione Piemonte and Film Piemonte. In my presentation, I'll try to present not only, of course, the national challenges, but of course the European challenges on this issue. And I will try to assess the different type of challenges. So not only ecological challenge, but also all the aspects of sustainability. And I'll try at the end to present what are, in my vision, the short, medium, and long-term goals that are feasible in my vision. Because of course, in these strategies, we have to look at the ongoing situation in order to have an idea of the different steps in order to achieve the different goals. Starting from the European general strategy, of course, the general framework is the Green Deal stated from the European Union. And the main goal of this general political and strategies is to change European Union into the first carbon-free continent of the world. Of course, this strategy is a sort of manifesto, because if we look at the world emission, we can see that the European Union share is not so big. The European Union share of emission is around 8%. So this changement will not change a lot. If we think at the emission of a country like China, with around 27% of the world emission, or of the United States that are around 14%. So quite the double of the European Union. But of course, this is a political strategy from the European Union in order to speed up this process of the reduction of the emission, and so the idea that European Union will be the forerunner that will stimulate the rest of the world in this important strategy. But what are the questions that we have to look at? First of all, if we are ready to shift from fossil fuels to renewable energies, of course, in the transport sector. from a technological point of view, of course. And after this, if we have the engine able to use renewable energies instead of carbon fuels, we have to look at the energy quantity, renewable energy that we have now and we will have in the future in order to fuel these new engines. And the third question, and if this changement will impact on the cost of the transport, of course, that are a main question. So 5 minutes. Oh God, that's terrible. Okay. Of course, ecological transition. Third point is that transport emissions are hard to abate. If we look at the recent evolution of the quantity of energy that we produce from transport, we can see that transport emission decreased from 1999 to 2020 very slowly compared to the other sector like energy manufacture, and the percentage of transport emission increase, of course, as a consequence of this changement. Second aspect is cost of the emission. This is a trial and an investigation carried out by the Switzerland government that tried to estimate the total cost in Switzerland. Sorry? Okay, can you go ahead?
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay. And the first question is that the most part of the emission and the cost is linked to passengers transport, and only 19% is from freight transport. But what we have to look at is the total amount of this cost. The second point from a technological point of view is that road transport is a small share of the total emission, but if we look at the numbers of heavy trucks, for example, that are around 10% on the world freight transport fleet, they produce the 50% of the world road transport CO2 emissions. So it's a small sector, but with a big quantity of emission. Second part is the technological challenge, and in this point we have to look at the availability in the market of the new engine and the new truck fueled with the renewable energies. And we can see that the whole of transport of these new trucks is small, is not so big. So we are not ready to this transformation. But I think that the next speaker from ANFIA will give us more updated information on this subject. The other question is the energy availability. At this point, we have to look at the renewable energy in the world. The production on renewable energy is not so big. We have around 6.7 million gigawatt per hour of this type of energy. And if we look the actual consumption of energy, of course, coming from diesel, from the transport sector, we have around 11 million. So we need a more quantity, and the consumption of the transport system in the world total consumption of energy is around 1/3. So if the total energy production is around 6.7, so we have to cover a big gap in order to fuel this new truck. So I have only 1 minute more. So what I want to present at the end is this. In order to have a new idea of the emission and of course transport organization, we have to change our cultural approach to transport. First of all, the first point is to share instead to possess, because we have to start a new idea of transport organization more linked to the service and less to the property. This is something that will change not only the freight transport system, but also the passenger system. But we have to look at transport in a different way. Second point is the way to drive and to use car, because self-driving cars and trucks will change a lot our way to organize, from labor system, from the transport organization, the way to move freight around the world will change a lot. And the third part is the digital mobility. Trucks, but also cars, are changing. They are no more engine over. They are a sort of data bank. We use this means of transport in a different way. We are more interested in the software development of these means of transport than to the engine organization. Of course, this is a sort of a future vision, but we will change a lot in this vision. And this will impact, of course, also in the emission, because we will have a different way of organized transport, labor transport, and transport organization. So, Fernando, I think that I take all the 10 minutes. I will leave, of course, the presentation that is full of other data, but I want to just to introduce my issues.